It's the good old-fashioned length ball that still counts, and you still got to hit the right lengths, and that's exactly what he's done. Reduce the edge.
And I think it was the pace there, wasn't it, that enabled Williamson, well, didn't enable him effectively to move his feet, that meant he was rooted to the crease, because the extra pace just didn't give him the time, so he just threw his hands at it in the end. You rarely see him get out like that.
Absolutely. I mean, he's one of the finest players of pace, Kane Williamson.
Here's Rachin Ravindra, number 4, back in the side. Ball goes down the leg side. Half an appeal from Rana and from Mushfiqur. And Jaka saying, I heard something, but it might have been the pad. It might have flicked off the pad. Nazmul Hossain Shanto's just deciding whether he wants to take a chance on a review. He's not going to. Might have just flicked the pad.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to think that the keeper and the slips would be in a better position than Jaka to make that decision. But yeah, very clearly off the pad there. A bit of a waste of a review. But yeah, you're right. Pace makes you do some funny things. You know, it can scramble the mind. It scrambles the feet. I mean, you know from your time in club cricket, you know, suddenly someone comes in with a bit of pace and suddenly the conversation is just around that guy all the time, isn't it?
Anyone turns up and bowls 68 mile an hour in club cricket, and we all get a little bit scared, to be honest. Bit of a delay here. Just think they're sorting out something behind the sight screen. Nahid Rana does have his 2 slips in now. Tanzir and Rishad Hossain in a second slip, just in case he gets another edge. 2 left-handers to bowl at. Another wicket here really would put Bangladesh on the front foot. Full down leg side, clipped away, meat and drink for Rachin Ravindra. He's off the mark with a boundary.
And that's just not the place to bowl, really, to a new batsman. When you've got them under pressure, keep the foot on the top of the head. But, he is young, he is raw, so you've got to expect that from time to time. And Ravindra just putting that away, class player.
Ravindra missed the first game. He was struck on the head trying to take a catch right on the forehead in that tri-series between New Zealand, South Africa and Bangladesh. So they didn't want to risk him in the opener against Pakistan in the Champions Trophy. But he's a class player, as we saw at the 23 World Cup. So as soon as he's available, they want to get him back in. Incidentally, Daryl Mitchell ill. I think that saved them from a really tough selection decision. Rana's around the wicket, left alone by Ravindra. So another dramatic over. A wicket, 7 from it. Rana's got 1 for 11 from his 2 overs. And overall, it's 19 for 2 off 4.
Yeah, good start from Bangladesh. I think they'll be more than happy with this start. If they can snare another one of these, either Conway or Ravindra, I think they're going to feel they're right in this contest. It's not going to be easy. Said with the under lights, you know, the ball just doing enough, you would say, not heaps, but doing enough, and that's all you need to do, really. But certainly will put some of this New Zealand middle order, which has been their strength over the years, under a bit of pressure.
Do bat deep, though, don't they, New Zealand? You've still got Tom Latham to come. Tuscan continues around the wicket, cramps up Conway for room, and he just inside edges this to square leg, no run. Tom Latham got 100 in the previous game. You got Glenn Phillips, who's in very good touch. Michael Bracewell has a couple of ODI centuries. Mitchell Santner coming in at number 8. So they do bat deep. They do need a partnership here just to calm things down. You don't want the Bangladeshis getting on top of you early and getting up, because at the moment they are pretty up. Just need a partnership here to quell that. In the wicket again, short outside the off stump, and it's back foot driven to backward point, no run.
Personally, I'm not a fan of this ploy from Taskin. And I just feel it's just taking a few dismissals out the equation for me to Conway. I would like to see him come over the wicket. I feel he will then bring all 3 modes of dismissal into play. From round the wicket, the ball isn't doing a hell of a lot. The only dismissal you feel here is a feather outside off stump, which I'm not sure.
Left by Devon Conway. Nods approvingly at Tuskin. Says, yeah, that was a good delivery, mate. It was in the channel and I left it alone. Tuskin has been pretty reliable so far with his lengths. Quite a packed offsides field for Conway to try and pierce, but he is very strong through the offside. There's not a big gap between backward point and point, but he's already found that once. And then previously went the other side of point as well. You don't want to give him too many drive options. He's squared up here. Looks at the pitch disapprovingly.
Yeah, didn't look like he did a hell of a lot there, you say, Conway, but obviously he's man closest to the action. Just looked very straight, maybe just a little bit early on the shot. But yeah, you're right. They've definitely packed that offside field in trying to hang the ball out there almost to tempt Conway into another big booming drive. You can see they're almost shaking hands there between sort of gully, square cover and a short extra cover on the drive.
Again, it's in at the body of Conway, who works this to mid-wicket. There's a shot at the stumps, but it's another dot ball. 5 dots, he can join them up with one more. He's looking quite knackered already, Tuskin, isn't he? He's got very long hair at the moment. Looks like he needs a haircut, I think. Normally he's a bit more trim than that.
Streamlined, like us.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that, you know. While you've got it, enjoy it.
Yeah, true.
Whereas me and you got no choice, sadly. In fact, when you said that the pitch was tufty earlier, I was thinking, well, that's what my hair would look like if I tried to grow it.
Yeah. That's about a week's growth for us now, isn't it?
Yeah, I take tufty. Here's Tuskin's final delivery around the wicket. Out the middle of the bat, but it's straight to cover. Driven on the up by Conway, and it's 88 miles per hour as well, that delivery. So both the Bangladeshi opening bowlers really cranking up the pace. It's a maiden from Tuskin. 5 overs gone, 19 for 2. Did just skid onto the middle of the bat, that though, didn't it? Are we seeing some signs here that the dew is going to assist the chasing side?
I think there's always that feeling when you bat under lights that the ball does feel as though it comes on that little bit more. It's mainly sometimes when the ball gets a little bit older, depending on how much dew there is, it can almost become one of those tacky pitches which can assist the spinners. But so far so good. I mean, it still looks a belter to bat on, doesn't it?
Yeah, you certainly feel like 236 is not enough. Nahid Rana bangs one in short, which is defended off the back foot by Rachin Ravindra. He says no straight away as the ball heads out to the covers. Yeah, the pitch, we're just having a close look at it now. There isn't much grass on it, is there really? We did see a little bit of inconsistent bounce in that first innings. There were a couple that scuttled through, nothing so far in the chase. But it is so different, isn't it, when you go to Pakistan compared to India, for example, in terms of the pitches you get. They really are devoid of grass. And the one in Lahore, absolute belter for batting. This doesn't look quite as good, but still not too many demons. Another good delivery from around the wicket from Nahid Rana, just cramping up Rachin Ravindra, who forces off the back foot straight to point.
Well, you can sort of see the evolution of a lot of the Pakistani bowlers of the past, isn't it? They were genuine pace, you know, Shoaib Akhtar being the most famous from this part of the world, the Rawalpindi Express, you know, someone who didn't really need the pitch at all. He could take the pitch out of the equation and just beat you for sheer speed. It's very much a hard-working pitch as a fast bowler, isn't it? You've got to nag away or you've got to have genuine pace.
Well, quite fitting that Nahid Rana is steaming in here at the home of the Rawalpindi Express. Again, he's causing problems for Rachin Ravindra. Back of a length, and he chops down on this Ravindra, just thick inside edge into the pad. And it's another dot ball. And Nahid Rana again is over 90 miles an hour, 91 on that occasion.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about this young man, isn't he? First of all, he's very tall, which is very unusual for Bangladesh cricketers. But comes right over the top. He utilises all that. What would he be? 6'6", 6'7", somewhere around that region. Definitely hits the deck hard, and so the eye-catching thing is definitely the pace. You know, up around 90, 92 mile an hour, which is swift.
Single finally for Ravindra. This time he manages to defend the ball into the gap on the offside. Comes through, gets off strike. Best place to play Rana at the moment, probably. He's got quite an interesting action, actually, hasn't he? Because he doesn't really jump up. He almost sort of runs through the crease, doesn't he? There's no big leap like you get from, say, a Mark Wood or someone. He just scuttles through, but because he's so tall, still coming from such a high trajectory.
Yeah, he's very almost in the Jofra Archer bracket, isn't he? Someone who just almost skates through the crease, but utilises that height at delivery.
Here he is again, full, trying to get Conway to drive, thick inside edge to mid-on, no run. But I'm with you here, Carbs. He's found the edge twice from over the wicket. I know it was a right-hander, right? He's got two left-handers now. But surely he was getting the ball to swing away, to move away, angle away from the left-hander. Surely the better option would be to remain over the wicket for a little bit.
I always feel when bowlers come round the wicket, I know it's a new en vogue thing, you're pretty much hedging on bowling the perfect nut. And what I mean by that is a ball pitching on around middle and off to hit off stump. So you're just getting it to leave. There's not many bowlers. I think of Broad probably being the one who was arguably the best at doing it. I just think, you know, you've got so many, you bring in all modes of dismissals as a right-handed bowler to left-handed batsmen coming over the wicket because you can swing the ball back at their pads. If the ball holds, you can nick them off. You open up that area that they're trying to block now, which is behind point, just in front of point, and that short extra cover. So you bring in so many more modes of dismissals by coming around the wicket, depending on the left-hander. So some left-handers do struggle with the ball around the wicket. Basically, the only way you're getting me out, really, is by me fishing at the ball outside off stump and possibly leaving a straight one that's too straight, which is not going to happen too often. But most left-handers, if you get the ball, if you start the ball on middle and off stump, posting on middle stump, it's an easy tuck away. You never feel in any real danger, and that's why I always feel, you know, do that as an option B. But, you know, as your first option, you should always be trying to utilize your angle as much as you can.
Last ball of that over was just defended for none by Devon Conway. So here's Tuscan Ahmed for his fourth over to Ravindra, who's driving nicely into the gap. Really good shot on the up. That wasn't a genuine half volley by any stretch of the imagination, but he pierces the gap between extra cover and mid-off.
Yeah, and that's the point I was trying to illustrate. You know, it's almost too easy a line for the left-hander just to lean into something like that. Now, if that was from over the wicket with the natural angle going and go across you, I think as a left-hander you have to be a lot more careful driving at that length, because you know if you're not quite there to it, then you've got your fielders posted for that, plus your catchers behind.
Sticking with this around the wicket point at the moment. That's glorious too from Ravindra. That was right out the screws. Again, on the up. This time he finds short cover. But already he's looking in good touch.
He is a classy player, this bloke. What I've watched of him, he looks a very, very organised player. You know, someone who's very, very orthodox. You know, he's but he has got the good power game as well. So he is very dangerous.
Offers a bit with the ball as well. Didn't see him today, but he can bowl some half-decent left-arm spin if you need it. 300s he hit in the 2023 World Cup in India. So he's clearly not fazed by Asian conditions. Pushes this down to mid-on for a dot ball.
Am I right in thinking he was first initially picked as the left-arm spinner in this team and somehow came in as a batting substitute? Is that right?
Correct. He was picked, wasn't he, initially as, I guess, a bowling all-rounder who could bat a bit, and then he's turned himself into a top-order player, got his opportunity at the top of the order in white ball cricket, and now he's very much in demand wherever he goes, really. Chennai Super Kings, they purchased him in the IPL. Actually, look at his stats, and his T20 stats not actually that eye-catching at all. 50 over stats are pretty decent. Oh, now he's gone over the wicket, and immediately Tuskin beats the bat. This one keeps low as well. Big drive, and it goes through on the bounce to the wicketkeeper.
Yeah, absolutely. I just got that feeling that just from coming over the wicket with the indifferent bounce, plus, as I said, it's just the angle. It just makes you think, especially when you see how he set up his fielders catching on the offside there. You know, you've only got to get one to bounce from there, and it will carry to any one of those fielders. I'm much more in favour of this ploy.
Also, with that low bounce, you can chop on as well, can't you? Those kind of deliveries. Oh, this one's driven slightly uppish, just short of Jucker, who's on the catch, quite square, a sort of catching square cover. And that almost paid dividends, that position.
It was almost in just as we almost just got ourselves a wicket there, Floydie. Again, because they're two very similar players, you know, they're not great foot movers. They're very good hands. They tend to play a little bit away from the body, and I think you've almost got to play on that ego, haven't you? Try and drag them out of the ball out of their eye line a little bit.
Looks focused Russian Ravindra as he stares down at the pitch as the bowler comes in, and that's a glorious back foot punch, which has gone once again in between mid-off and cover. That is a high quality shot. The Russian Ravindra has already hit 3 glorious boundaries. He's 13 off 13, 7 overs gone. New Zealand 28 for 2 as they chase down 2-3-7. I'm going to have a short rest and a cup of tea, but don't worry, because Nicholas Reggani's coming in after Carbs has said a few words.
That was a top shot, I have to say, right on top of the bound. Wasn't that bad a ball, probably just slightly short in length. High quality shot there from Ravindra, up on the toes, on the back foot, and just punching it through extra cover, which is not an easy shot on a wicket that's a little bit too pace. So it just shows you the quality of the batsman, Nikesh Regani. Welcome.
Absolutely, yes, and certainly is a very classy player, is Rachin Ravindra, as is Devon Conway. Conway facing up here to Nahid Rana. He's coming round the wicket. And, that one's just punched into the covers, and there's no run. Conway 10 from 20. Just looking at a replay of that beautiful shot from Rachin Ravindra. You'd have been proud of that, wouldn't you?
100%, 100%. Yeah, it was a glorious shot. This top of the bounce. As I said, not really a bad ball. High quality.
And he comes then back round the wicket, wide slip in place, and it's close to the off stump. It's been chopped away to backward point, no run. Conway, another one who does have that power game so far in his shell. A couple of boundaries, but aside from those couple of early boundaries, been very watchful indeed. That last delivery from Nahid Rana, 91 miles an hour, so not often I think I've seen a Bangladeshi bowler get into the 90-mile-an-hour bracket consistently, with the ability to swing the new ball as well. Dangerous prospect for the future. Conway, eyes wide open. Rana coming back over the wicket, but straying down the leg side, and it's just helped on its way down to fine leg by Conway. You cannot bowl there to a player of that quality. He moves on to 14, New Zealand 32 for 2.
Yeah, I think Rana just getting his timing all wrong there. You can see the pace wasn't there. It was just at 82 mile an hour. So obviously something malfunctioned there in the action. Losing his line. Like you say, you just cannot bowl there on leg stump to Devon Conway. That is meat and drink for someone of his quality and class.
Punch of the gloves between the two New Zealanders. Rana going back round the wicket immediately. Change of angle, full ball, and well, it's not going to be a change of result. It's 4 more. That's a lovely drive, an on drive from Devon Conway, mid-on inside the circle, and once it beat that man inside the circle, it races away for 4.
Yeah, the overcompensation now from Rana. Again, you can see he's trying to shape that ball across Conway from round the wicket, but the ball hasn't really done that throughout the whole inning, throughout the game, throughout the day, really. It's not a delivery that's really worked for many bowlers, and you just provide an easy half volley for someone like Conway. He's adept at punching that down the ground.
Rana tries once more, slightly shorter of a length, and it's been defended by Conway this time. Out towards point. He's a player with the ability to catch up, is Devon Conway. He won't mind that slightly slower start by his standards. Already up to 18 from 24. Required run rate, not a problem, less than 5. Rana, he's been mixing up his pace a little bit in this over. Up as far as 146 kilometers an hour and then down to the 130 mark. Full outside off, driven beautifully by Conway through a packed offside field inside the ring, and it just threads through those fielders perfectly, away to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, he's not quite getting it right in this over, Rana. He's been a little bit spray gun, bit both sides, and this is infuriating for the captain because it's very difficult to defend both sides of the wicket. And this time now he's just getting too full to Conway, who literally just had to drop the bat on the ball, open the face of the bat, guide it past short extra cover there for another boundary. And this will be starting to get itchy from a Bangladesh point of view. They would have liked at least one of these back in the hutch.
This is where, though, as a captain, as Nazmul Hossain Shanto, you need to go and have a word with the young fast bowler. He's, new into the side. He's not very experienced at international level. He looked really frustrated. You need the captain to go and have a quick word in his ear, because you don't want him down and dejected this early in an innings. Yeah, you bowled a few bad deliveries, but don't worry about it. Let's come up with a plan. I need you to do this. I'll set this kind of field for you. Bowl to your field. Just words of encouragement, really, which I haven't seen so far. As we see Mehdi Hassan Miraz, new bowler. So spin in the 9th over of the innings. He's coming round the wicket to Ravindra, a bit of extra bounce, and it's been guided past short third. It's racing away towards the boundary, and it's going to get there. Beats the chase of Taskin. It's well negotiated in the end from Ravindra, because there was that little bit of extra bounce as he leant forward. And almost changed the shot that he was going to play as a result.
I think he got done in the length a little bit, Rajiv Ravindra. He got almost planted on his front foot, and then the ball sort of just turned, luckily as well. But, good that he didn't panic. He sort of went with the spin and managed to glide it just behind point for a boundary.
Slip in place. And that's been knocked away leg side for a single. There's the gap there at square leg. It's good to see New Zealand, after those 2 early wickets fell, that intensity is back. They know that these are the opportunities really to get off to that good start in the power play when the ball is still hard and new in these conditions.
I think it's a good point you made about the captain going to the young fast bowler. I think it's just reaffirming a few things. Look, we just need you to just hit that good line and length. Don't try and get overcomplicate what you're doing. Something will happen.
Miraz finds the edge of Conway, does he? No, just past the outside edge. Yeah, well, there's a bit of a sound. I'm not quite sure what that sound was. Maybe the ball just thudding into the keeper's glove.
I thought he nicked that.
Let's have another look at this. Oh, it was very, very, very close to the outside edge. There was a half appeal, but then Bangladesh pulled out. Next one is short, wide, and put away. Out towards deep point. Devon Conway is not going to miss out on that.
Absolutely not. I mean, it was wasn't too wide a delivery. I mean, it was fantastic. Just such quick hands, isn't he, Devon Conway? He gets back, big high back lift, and slashes that behind point. And once you beat the fielder here, it's just running away for 4, isn't it? It's like glass today.
Absolutely. Here he comes once more, Miraz. That's a better delivery. Just in that in-between length on that off stump. Hint of turn, nothing more. But Conway respects it with a defensive shot. 49 for 2 then in the 9th over. another similar delivery, slightly straighter. Conway defends leg side, and there is no run. So Mirage finding his line and length with those last couple of deliveries, but conceding a couple of boundaries in that over as well. 9 overs gone. New Zealand 49 for 2. That target 237.
You can see already what Mahedi's plan is going to be on this pitch, isn't he? He's going for the old shin ball. You know, he's going to try and hit these left-handers, trap them in front, try and get them playing around the lack of spin, more with the drift on the angle. He's not a tall spinner, is he? So he's not, you know, he's not someone you expect to get a lot of bounce, especially on this pitch.
Interesting stat so far. No extras conceded by Bangladesh. So in terms of discipline, when you're chasing or defending rather, a low total, that's one of the things you look at. So they've been disciplined in that aspect, but let's see if they can snuff out a couple of more wickets here. Mustafiza Rahman into the attack for the first time. Starts off with a full ball to Ravindra, which is pushed to mid-off, no run. Wild throw came in actually from mid-off and almost took Ravindra out.
Just as you want as a 38-year-old keeper, isn't it?
Required rate now down to just over 4.5 and over. Ravindra drives on the up and again finds Jakar Ali, who's been busy in that region. He looks to have hurt his knee. I don't know if the ball clattered into his knee or he just landed awkwardly, but he's in that position for Ravindra, and he's been bombarded with a few drives in the last couple of overs. Let's have another look at this. Oh yeah, the ball just creeps through and he lands on his side of his thigh.
Buttocks kind of area.
Yeah,
that would be sore.
Looks to be back on his feet though, which is good. Ravindra looking in good touch so far. An extra man goes in there. A short extra cover. They've got 2 of them now, and he finds the gap in between both of them on the up. That is gorgeous from Rachin Ravindra. Another 4 out towards that deep extra cover region. He moves into the 20s. That's 50 up for New Zealand as well. 53 for 2 in the 10th over.
That was almost the equivalent of beating the draft excluder in a free kick in football, isn't it? You know, you put the extra man in there at cover and it still goes through. So it reminds me a little bit of Brian Lara. You know, teams used to set like 3 gullies and you still find a way of just placing it through. That was glorious.
It's all in the wrists, isn't it, as well? Easier said than done, though. Jakar Ali still looks in a bit of pain there, doesn't he? As he crouches down at short extra cover. We shouldn't laugh. Ravindra defends the next ball, but
please don't come to me.
Isn't he? Bless him. It wasn't a really awkward landing on top of the ball a couple of balls ago as he fielded it. It was a good bit of fielding, in fact, to stop that drive. Is he getting some treatment now? Have we got a stoppage in play? I think that's what's happening. Yeah, get the physio out. Get him some magic spray. In fact, he's going off, I think. He's going off. Substitute fielder has come on. And Jakar Ali will be going off for some treatment. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's not bruised a bone or whatever it might be. I don't know what kind of injury you can do by landing on the ball like that.
Come on, man.
Another drive on the up.
I'd be interested. What is the physio's treatment for?
Just cold spray.
Oh, yes. Magic cold spray.
Magic cold spray, and on you get. It's better than the magic sponge that they used to run out in football in the early days. Just a bucket of water and a sponge. What is that going to do? Broken ribs or something like that. Out comes the magic spray, the magic sponge. Well, that's another lovely drive on the up off the back foot from Ravindra. That's a really good bit of fielding from Hridoy to keep it down to just a single. Running around from point. So 10 overs gone, 54 for 2 is what New Zealand find themselves on. 183 more needed from 40 overs. Thank you to Michael Carberry for now. Roshan Alam back alongside me. And Roshan, well, there was hope, wasn't there, for Bangladesh early on. A couple of big wickets in the form of Will Young and the massive one, really, of Kane Williamson. 15 for 2 in the 4th over. And Bangladesh would have been thinking, well, hang on a minute, got a chance here, but these two have played well. And I'm not saying there's no chance for Bangladesh now. Of course, a couple of wickets can change things, but New Zealand looking a lot more settled.
Yeah, definitely. I think 54 for 2 off the 10 overs is a decent power play for New Zealand.
Mehdi Hassan to continue. And Ravindra defends that delivery off stump.
237, I think, was always a gettable target for New Zealand, but you're right, Bangladesh had a brilliant start.
We've still got the slip in place, so they are looking for that wicket as Ravindra rocks back, cuts away to deep cover point. Just a single out to the sweeper there. A couple of really good deliveries, actually, to take those wickets in that power play. Ball from Tuskin to Will Young, shaped to go out and then sort of seamed back in, and then a lovely delivery from the young Nahid Rana to remove Kane Williamson, finding the outside edge. Conway driving down to long off. He'll help himself to another single.
It was a promising start from Bangladesh, but I think what they failed to do too often is just turn the screw. You know, had those 2 wickets turned to a 3rd or 4th, had New Zealand been 56 for 4, you'd think right back in it. But the way Ravindra and Conway have batted, they've sort of comfortably kept head above water. Their run rate's not too demanding. You still feel it's New Zealand's game.
Ravindra just taps and runs to mid-on. That's really good running. No chance of the fielder getting anywhere near affecting a run out there. It was off as soon as he touched the ball. This is the way to do it once the power play is over. Just knock it around as they're looking to do. Conway this time not finding the gap on the offside, so that will be a dot ball. The crowd expectant, just a slight hum around the ground in Rawalpindi as Conway defends to mid-on, and that'll be another dot ball to finish off the over. So tight one from Mehdi Hassan there. 3 from it. 57 for 2 New Zealand after 11 overs. It's not quite the Lord's hum, is it, Roshan? But what do we call it in Rawalpindi?
Not a roar. Roar's too generous for what this is. Slightly more mellow than that, isn't it? It's
We've got the
rumble.
The Rawalpindi rumble. That sounds like
a wrestling.
We're expecting a wrestling event, yeah. 30 men in a ring.
30, well, the whole full squad's both sides.
Chuck each other over the top rope to eliminate. That's what a rumble is, isn't it? In wrestling.
Yeah.
In comes Mustafizer to start a new over into Ravindra. It's been defended into the leg side, and there is no run.
Yeah, I think it's only going to get more difficult for Bangladesh as the evening wears on and the pitch offers less. I think that's why New Zealand wanted to chase, and I think they're under any sort of pressure or any sort of panic with this required run rate. 4.5 and over is light work for these guys, particularly on this sort of track. So even if they have a slightly slower, stifled start, 40 odd overs left, there shouldn't be a problem at all. That's all.
Ravindra then facing up once again to Mustafizer, digs out a Yorker into the leg side, sets off for a single, could be a run-out chance. Throw misses, and now they're looking for an overthrow as well, and they get it. Well, a lot happened there, but Ravindra in the end gets his single. It was Nazmul Hossain with the throw from mid-wicket. Let's see how close it would have been. Complete mix-up from both batters went, and then Conway sent Ravindra back. And he was halfway down the track, and he would have been gone.
It was messy, wasn't it? Mushfiq was nowhere near the stumps. I saw Miraz backing up on the other side. He was in the right position, but he then slipped and let the ball go through, giving away an extra run to the New Zealanders.
Mustafiza in again. That's good delivery on off stump, defended by Conway for no run. Back to the wrestling chat then.
I'm looking forward to this seg.
Well, you know, we're talking of rumbles and things like that. We might as well get into it. If we're going to talk wrestling, we'll get into it properly. Our good friend and colleague Atif Nawaz isn't in the box with us at the moment. Probably the biggest wrestling fan that I know. He's got all the belts and everything.
Yeah, hasn't he? Yeah.
All the replica belts in his bedroom. He recently got married. I'm not sure
I
if he's still got the replica belts in his bedroom.
Down, won't they?
First thing that comes down is Mustafiza goes outside off, and that's been left alone by Conway. I was thinking, like, players in the Bangladesh lineup then, if you were to compare them to iconic wrestlers, I'll go first. Mahmudullah's got to be Ric Flair, isn't he?
Okay, good.
The elder statesman.
My wrestling ref, I haven't watched wrestling for about 15 years.
Neither have I. That's why I'm going that far back.
Gonna have a quick Google.
Have a quick Google.
Let's have a look at 90s wrestler. Back with you.
Mustafiza into Conway once more. Another defensive shot into the leg side. And there is no run. 58 for 2 then, New Zealand. 179 more needed of 38.1 overs. At this same stage, Bangladesh, incidentally, was 64 for 1. So Bangladesh ahead on the comparison after 11.5 overs.
Right, I've looked through some wrestlers. I can't see any similarity between wrestlers and Bangladesh cricketers. If I'm honest, I wanted to give you more
Apart
than that.
from Mahmudullah and Ric Flair.
That's about it, yeah. There's very little crossover, if I'm honest.
Mustafiza goes a little bit too full. It's driven well by Conway, but straight to mid-off, and there's no run. The throw does come in as Ravindra leaves his ground at the non-striker's end. There was a direct hit, but almost a polite appeal, really, from the Bangladeshi fielders. I think he was safely home. End of another over then. 12 gone. New Zealand 58 for 2. Well, look, we've got to go New Zealand then. Kyle Jamieson, 6'7", wide. He's not quite the big show.
No.
The middle section's a little bit different, for being honest. Come on, Carbs, help us out. Hulk Hogan he's going for.
Undertaker, maybe Steve Austin.
Steve Austin, a little bit short for Kane Williams.
Yeah, true.
Kyle Jamieson.
Might be The Rock, big.
The Rock is very big now.
Yeah, that's
It wasn't quite as big when he was in the wrestling world. I mean, how far back are we going? I mean, Carbs is talking 90s. Ultimate Warrior. Any cricketing likenesses? Carbs is having a think.
It's a tough match. I think first time, excuse the pun, full stumped.
Full from Mehdi Hassan, who starts a new over, and that's been driven by Ravindra down to long off for a single.
Just had Mushfiq there saying ball a bigger jobber, which translates to the ball will go in this direction. So I wonder whether Mushfiq has seen something in the pitch that might assist the bowlers. The ball will go in this direction.
Well, Conway pulls away. Something going on behind the bowler's arm again.
It's those high-paying seats in the clubhouse, isn't it?
Must be. Not sure if
Sunny Jesse Skin with Barley 24 carat.
But there are some executive boxes on both sides. Should, I guess, not too far above the sight screen. Another single there to Conway. Down to long on. I guess Shivnarine Chandapur could be Ultimate Warrior, couldn't he, with the little things under his eyes. Ravindra flicks the next ball to short mid-wicket. And there is no run. It's 60 for 2. What's he saying there, Roshan?
He said not too much. Especially no, not too much.
Wide. Ravindra cuts, and a bit of a chase on here for deep cover. Who Tuskin just almost falls on the ball. And that allows the two batters through for a couple of runs. I don't think that was in the modern fielding handbook, was it?
No, I don't think so. It's a slightly superfluous dive from Tuscan there.
It's a little bit tighter to the stumps from Mehdi Hassan. Ravindra still rocks back, leg side, cuts away out towards cover point, and another chase for Tuscan, and another 2 runs. Tuscan being made to work quite hard out there in the Rawalpindi night. And with that, too, there's 1,000 runs, 1,001 runs to be exact, for Rachin Ravindra in his ODI career. Another flick through the leg side out towards long on. Brings Ravindra another single. He'll retain strike. 13 overs gone. New Zealand 65 for 2. 237 the target, remember. If you are just joining us here on 5 Sports Extra on BBC Sounds or on the ICC Listen app, we've got you covered for every ball of this ICC Men's Champions Trophy from Pakistan and Dubai. India beating Pakistan yesterday in the last match to be played in Dubai. New Zealand will be the next visitors to that stadium to take on India. And if they win here, both sides will just be vying for top spot in the group, having both basically qualified for the semi-finals. It is going to be Mustafizer once more, left arm over. Ravindra pushes out towards point. There is no run.
Well, there's no movement there for the Fears. I think it's that time of the night now where the pitch is going to offer very little assistance to the bowlers, unfortunately, and Bangladesh are going to have to think of something different to challenge the New Zealanders, because otherwise they're going to cunt away. Like the last over, we saw 7 runs, no boundaries. They just keep doing that, playing the ball around the ground. They'll get there in no time.
I'd like to see some Rishad Hussain, to be honest. A bit of wrist spin offers you something different.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a great deal of turn, but he's tall and gets variable bounce at times. Next ball is just chopped away out towards deep point for a single, and Ravindra grimaces in a bit of pain. He's taken his left glove off. Not quite sure what the issue is. Conway's not really showing any sympathy.
No,
or
we just get on with it. It's like,
right, let's crack on.
Yeah.
Let's face the next delivery. Here he is. Conway faces up, almost drags on. Just past the off stump. Just pushing a delivery outside off stump. It was a bit of a nothing shot, really, attempted. Just looking at the deliveries from Rana to Kane Williamson early on. The setup before finding his outside edge. 148.2 kilometers an hour, that wicket-taking delivery. Don't quite know the exact calculation off the top of my head in miles per hour, but it's probably 93 or something like that. It's quick.
It's
anyway.
quick, it's
very
fast.
quick. Another dot ball as Conway defends, leg side.
It's exciting for Bangladesh to have a bowler that quick. It's very, unlike Bangladesh to be having a load of paces competing for the same positions.
Well, it was unlike India for many years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Until you used to have the odd one, you could genuinely crank it up. Now there's a few of them. So it could be a similar thing. You need those role models, don't you, as Conway's back in his crease, defending into the offside.
Absolutely. I remember in the sort of maybe late noughties, early 10s, they had like almost a reality TV style contest to find fast bowlers. They call it the Pace Hunter, and they just travel schools in the regions looking for potential quick bowlers. Such was the drought of fast bowlers.
Was there a
Bangladesh.
winner then? Like the finalist?
I don't think it's quite televised, actually. I should have got a reality TV show, but that was what it was like in my head.
All right.
Just a few judges judging the whole thing.
Well, there must have been some finalists and things like that, as Conway's forward defending. Had a good length delivery there from Mustafiza. That's a very tight over from the left-arm pacer. 14 overs gone,
Yeah.
66 for 2. You tell us more about the reality TV show type hunt for a fast bowler in Bangladesh in the, what was it, late noughties,
Yeah,
early
late noughties, early
10s?
tens, something like that.
And then Matt Kabir Floyd will take over on commentary for me.
Yeah, I remember there being a real drought of fast bowlers in Bangladesh. There was a time where they'd play 3 spinners and would sort of choke the run rate. That's how they'd win games back then. And the BCB started an initiative to try and find fast bowlers. It was called Pace Hunter. They looked in schools, the regions. And I think they discovered a couple of names. I think Shahadat Hussain, who was a tall, quick bowler.
Just defended out to the cover region for a single. It doesn't sound as good a watch as Love Island, if I'm being frank.
It was a good initiative though, because actually, like, I think back then particularly, like, a lot of cricket was just Dhaka-centric.
Another ball finds the middle of the bat.